I made Asmongold Souls-like game.
Hello friends, in this video I'm gonna show you how I went from this Unreal Engine 5 template to this fully playable Dark Souls game in only 2 weeks. So over the winter holidays I decided to do something productive with my life. I took this Udemy course into how to make a Souls-like game in Unreal Engine 5. So we got to work. Unreal Engine 5 comes with this third-person template out of the box, so that's 10% of the game already done. Job well done.
Wait, this is cool. You could just take a course on Unreal Engine and they teach you? What the fudge?
Played out of the box, so that's 10% of the
That
game
so
already
fun.
done. Job well done on the first day. Next, we gave our character a sword, and we made him able to draw the weapon, get ready for combat. And we also made this interact system where when you click the interact button, it creates the sphere around the character. And if the sphere collides with an interactable object, you interact with the object, and in this case, it gives you the weapon, and we can even attack. And now that our character has a weapon, it was time to make a hit detection system. This is when you attack with a sword, it creates these volumes where the sword is. And if these volumes collide with an enemy, it will apply damage. And this is how tracing is usually done in games. Next, since this is a Dark Souls game, we really wanted to have a dodge mechanic. So we made this roll system. And I realized that you can actually kind of spam this and go into a
You're like a dog.
Goblino mode, which looks really good for what we're gonna do later. But we had to patch that because it might be a little bit too OP.
Wait, why did you patch it? That's perfect for Asmon.
At this point, we had a pretty decent combat system with multiple attacks. We had a spin attack that we could spam for some reason. We're gonna fix that in a little bit. But all of our attacks are a little bit hard to aim, so we made this targeting system. So now whenever you press tab, you scan the area and the first enemy it hits, it locks onto it. And our combat was looking pretty good. We had a lock-on system, a bunch of attacks, a bunch of combos. We could sprint, we could jump, we could roll, we could dodge, we could do a bunch of stuff. We need some enemies. So we made this AI that patrols around. They don't really care about me, which would make the game very, very easy. So we made the AI able to chase us. AI will see us, they will chase us, but they don't do anything. They just run at you, so it makes it even easier to kill them. So we gotta give them a little dose of freedom. And there you go, the AI is now armed and dangerous. Still not a match for a professional gamer like myself. So it was time to make a boss. You can tell this is the boss because he has a lot of HP and also because he's red. He has some extra attacks as well, and he's no pushover. Suddenly I'm not a god gamer anymore. Normally this is the point where we nerf it to the ground, but instead of nerfing things, I decided to just buff the player instead. So we gave the player this ability to actually block with the shield. So now whenever you hold right click, you will block the attack. However, every action you do will consume your stamina, so you can't really just perma block forever. And at this point, we've been working on this for about a week, and the Udemy course was over. So from here on out, we kind of freestyled it. And the first thing I wanted to do on my own was change the main character, the protagonist of the game. And this wasn't very hard to figure out. I need to leech to get some views on this video. So I decided to go with the one true king, Asmongold. Now, I really suck at modeling. Luckily, we live in the future, and I have this add-on in Blender called Face Builder. And Face Builder allows you to create very realistic faces just using pictures. As you can see, it's not exactly super complicated. You just drag these points around to match the shape of your subject. And after about 20 minutes of intense face modeling, I thought that's enough time dedicated to this. I got kind of bored. So it was time to see what we got. There we go. That's Asmongold. Oh my god, I'm seeing it again. But it's okay, alright? I know it looks a little weird,
so bad.
But it's fine, because once we give him the skin... listen, it's not perfect, but it's fine. Because this was going to be the base. The base for the Metahuman. Metahuman is another free tool from Epic Games, and this one's insane. It allows you to create very realistic humans. So we put the Asmongold's face in there, we processed the information, and this is what we got. I'm not gonna lie, the temptation was very high here with the hair. I had a moral existential dilemma, but I figured this looks more like Asmongold overall.
This looks like moist critical, no?
We went with this, and I think, listen, considering what we started with,
he looks weird.
This is great. So there's your boy, he's in the game, he's fighting the boss, and it looks great. He's in shambles.
Holy moly.
Next, I worked on some enemies. I got these goblin pack from the marketplace for free. They had animations, they look great, it fit perfectly. And speaking of goblins, If you guys remember earlier when we did the roll, now that we have the character, I decided to bring it back, and it looks terrifying. That is a thing of nightmares. Yeah, we decided not to keep that because it was still gonna be a little bit too OP. We're also not trying to make a horror game here, and plus that kind of feature would probably fit better for a different character in the future. So now it was time to work a little bit on the boss enemy. The boss is just a standard mannequin, but we wanted to make a true antagonist for Asmongold to defeat.
Okay. Oh, that was supposed to be him.
And now that the main gameplay was out of the way, it was time to work on the actual level. And
like
for
2
this,
weeks
I
ago?
wanted to make an accurate representation of
maybe a week
Asmongold's
ago. I don't
house.
remember the
And
day.
I'm not gonna lie, this felt really weird to do. It felt like an actual stalker watching this video of Asmongold's lair
Holy Bonnie, you're actually a stalker. You know his
and trying to replicate his
rooms?
house as best as I can. It took a lot of time and a lot of research actually.
Oh my
I had to like, go
God.
from different angles and try to map it out. Kind of weird, but we got it done. I think it's a beautiful house, and I know it's not a perfect replica, but it's close enough. And we had to make a bit of a bigger space for him to fight. Initially, I wanted to have like a big neighborhood and he just fights things through the neighborhood. But then I realized, wait a minute, Asmongold probably has some juicy content in his basement. That's probably where the OTK meetings are held, of course. So I got to work and I made this massive, realistic underground dungeon filled with a bunch of lights and fog and props everywhere. And of course, I'm just kidding. I paid $50 on the marketplace and I just downloaded it. I just slap it in there. I put the house in there, and Dark Souls game is done. It's $50, easy clap. And for a little bit of extra flair, I wanted to make some objects actually blow up when you hit them with your sword. So I made this bench just straight up explode. It looked great. It was awesome. The boss was super scary when he just charges at you and blows the benches up. And next I hid a bunch of Dr. Peppers throughout the map because I figured this would be an appropriate health pot for Asmongold. And the goal of the game is simple. You need to get to the basement via a very fancy elevator, of course.
Asmon plays this.
You get to the basement and you gotta fight the big bad boss. I don't know exactly like what the story is beyond that, but I do know that Asmongold needed a friend in the basement, so I did the face thing again for Esfand.
Oh shit.
So I did the exact same workflow with Esfand. I put him into Blender, I made a quick face, I put him in Unreal Engine, I made a Metahuman.
Dude, this is fucking insane though. Oh, he looks like a caveman. What?
That's Esfand. It's really hard to find a haircut like Esfand's, so I mean, I did my best with what I had.
Whoa, why is he a woman? He should just keep this. I like this shot.
The Metahuman, yeah, that's Esfand. It's really hard to find a haircut like Esfand's, so I mean, I did my best with what I had. I made him into a true Giga Chad, and Esfand's role was to basically be a target dummy for the player to kind of learn how to use their abilities and skills. You will find him in the basement and you just beat the shit out of him because he is super tanky. Esfand literally has 1000 times more HP than the boss, so he can take it no problem.
Oh, so this
So
is
with
like
that done, I thought the game was ready, the combat felt good, we had a lot of abilities, but I found the gameplay to be a little bit too repetitive. The boss just has a bunch of HP and it takes a while to just grind through it. But I wanted a little bit more from this AAA game. So we decided to make a second phase for the boss. That's right, this boss is a transformation.
Shit.
And I thought it would be really sick if I could take this skeleton in the middle of the room and make that the boss. That would have been sick. Problem is, this skeleton is just a static mesh, meaning it has no... The skeleton has no skeleton, so you can't animate it. It's just a static mesh on the chair. But of course, we can fix that. So we took the skeleton, we dragged him into Blender, removed the chair, try to put a skeleton inside the skeleton so we can animate the skeleton, which after it took a while. Okay, I'm not very good at this, but we got it done and it does work. So we have a skeleton with a skeleton that is now the final phase of the final boss. When the boss reaches half HP, he will transform into this monster giant skeleton from the throne. There is a problem with that, however. The skeleton being so big, his normal boss abilities just won't hit me anymore. Remember how the tracing works on the sword? Well, his sword is too high up and it just doesn't hit me, whereas I can just stab his feet over and over again. Not exactly a very dangerous
Yeah, that's
second
not
phase.
dangerous at all.
So to fix that, I just got new animations for the skeleton. Well, I got one animation where he would stomp the ground. And I feel like I could have explored this a bit more and just gotten more animations just to look up or maybe make my own. But it would have been like too much of a time investment for this 2-week project. So instead, I just decided to make the skeleton small again. However, this skeleton is way stronger than the first phase of the boss. He's immune to hit
You should have
pushback.
made Bobby
and he
Coding
has
like have
more
a second
extra
phase where he
attacks, and
throws
he does
money at you, man.
insane damage. So I never managed to beat him. Surely a god gamer will be able to defeat the boss. He's not super complicated, but he's very punishing. He slaps hard. And one last thing we had to do is make an actual transformation sequence, like a phase 2 cinematic. And that was my first time working with Sequencer, which is the cinematic part of Unreal Engine.
I
It's
remember
pretty
this.
straightforward. Luckily, Metahumans are pretty easy to animate just using your phone. And before
This
we wrap
looks
it
like
up,
Shrek,
since this
man.
is a AAA
That does
quality
not look
studio,
like Bobby
of course
Kotick.
we added some settings to the game. There's no settings to actually change your keybinds, and also no controller support. Save that for a different patch or something. But that was it. Game was now ready. It was cooked. There's a link in the video description if you guys want to try it out. It's completely free, of course. There's going to be a link to a Google Drive. You can try it out. Good luck defeating the final boss.
He's going
I never managed to
schizo.
defeat him. I don't even know if the end game works. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the game. If you'd like to see more, don't forget to subscribe. And I'll
Dude,
see
this
you
looks
in
like
the next one.
Keanu Reeves, man.
Peace.
That's so good. Holy shit. I'll look at you guys. PPC. What an insane game. I hope Bald Man checks it out. Of course. That sounds like that is Asmon's voice. Next Friday. Should we play this now actually? I think I could beat it in one sitting, chat. How about we beat it right now? I'm gonna download it right now. I need to eat some food though.